Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. So in this video I'm discussing a creepypasta that is related to Minecraft, so it's going to be a little bit different. I know that I've covered like Venezuela, but I didn't even know that Minecraft creepypasta was even a thing. So let's get cracking. So the usual to Herobrine about how he lives and who's a lot more than just cold. But have you ever wondered about the Enderman and whether everyone who has played Minecraft is well familiar with them by now? And while they can be hard to fit their hole, in the end, of course, they aren't hostile. They aren't hostile unless you look at them, or and quite a few people consider them friendly and like them. Personally, I've always found them creepy and killed them whenever. Well, being as strong as they are, regular players know that if you run into one right after you spawn, you run for water. To cold them with a fear of water, and whoever thought anything bad could happen with water, right? Well, water is the whole reason this mess started. Started the game since then. I was playing on my regular world, a server that my friends and I had started. We had plenty of houses built, a sea and the Ender Dragon was defeated. There really wasn't much to do in the world anymore, so you had to get very creative. My friends and I enough, and we understood the game very well. Aaron was our redstone guy. If you needed anything powered, than any tutorial could ever tell you. Myself, I made a majority of the buildings and even started working on the city. Guys planting and harvesting anything that was needed. Lastly, we had Graham. He did all the magical stuff. Had us building him a mob trap so we could get an outrageous sorry about that, guys, experience whether he wanted to. Of course, we had the randoms who would join the occasional troll, and sometimes we would have as a regular. We had all fought the Ender Dragon before, and we could do it fairly quick. Aaron and I and majority of the group could take out the dragon. Graham, however, would stay underground working up potions for the battle and have the rest do deliveries. He wasn't too fond of Enderman either. Water buckets to the end. He stayed in the middle of the water where the Enderman couldn't get him. That's where I got my whole idea from. One day, when I had nothing else to do, I decided to get on the server. It had been about 2 weeks since Ender Dragon was and we hadn't really gone to the end since then. We had a little trap that was set up with torches and sand that would send into the end, but it was mostly just to make them panic. Well, I had the great idea of using the end to farm ender pearls. James' idea with the buckets in order to do that, but on a massive scale. I had every intention on flooding the end. Inventory editor and the fly / fly command. I started. Of course, this was the only time as I made sure our whole server was legit. However, I was the only person on, and I figured that everyone would have a good laugh at the fact that I flooded. As I started going, a good portion of the floating island they called home was filling up quickly. You would hear them panic and tell get splashed, and the occasional scream from when they decided to go swimming for too long. It's amusing how much determination to leave a simple can give a being. As the rest of the island started to fill up, they became very crafty on their spawns. Many were going but as soon as I saw them, they would be swept away from the water and fall into the void. I kept going until there was a little square in the centre, and they spawned it on. They were pushing each other for what little precious space I had left. On one fall off the planet every few seconds. I made a few more trips around the island, filling up any spots I missed and finished up any stragglers that found. One had even found a spot buried in the ground in a 4 tall tunnel until flooded him out. This all took till about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was happy I was able to finish by the night's end. After I had filled every dry spot up, I filled up the square in the centre. Many of the Endermen just swam until you heard the death scream, and a few of them managed to teleport to the platform. I decided to have a little fun. At first flooding the edges and watching them push and off of the level. This left only 4. This just compelled me to get it over, causing 3 of the 4 to fall off the platform. The one remaining Enderman stayed jumping in the centre, and slowly finally fell to the floor and screamed. But it wasn't the normal death scream I had grown accustomed to during my trip. It was glitching, slowed down, then and drag out even more. Eventually the rest of the game took suit, and I was unable to move. The sound repeated itself, falling to the floor. That is until Minecraft has run out of memory. Minecraft then crashes, as does Java. As many people do when something like that happened, I started up both the server and Minecraft again. I figured it was just a glitch due to the massive loot that was on the ground from the Enderman dying. I put in my IP address in the multiplayer and clicked connect. As I knew that the crash had corrupted the files. Luckily, I backed up the world right before we fought the dragon. I grabbed my external, copied over the files and loaded it right up. Even though I couldn't fix all that was lost, I figured I'd go the dragon again before bed. Thanks to Graham, I had all my weapons with any enchantment possible, as well as potions that would last. Over to the portal, jumped down the hole and end those right up. However, something is wrong. As I look, the crystals are one to terror, but no dragon to feed off of them. I noticed next that the Endermen are gone as well. Until eventually I'm hit. I look up and see that crystals are chaining to what I would presume to be the world just didn't load properly. I save, exit both programs, reset my computer, and get right back into it. Easier fight as I don't have to worry about them looking in the wrong direction and having to ward off a pissed off Enderman. I shoot the lasso out into the dragon and he floats in the air and the egg drops onto the painting. I run over there so I can have a strange occurrence. The end portal that usually fills the painting is now just the same texture as water. A bucket wouldn't pick it up like me to think this just led me to think my .jar file was corrupted, and a hop in eventually the normal end portal would, except I hear the death scream of the Enderman again, and not just once but over and over and over. But sorry about that, guys, but it isn't what I expected. Black. Then Minecraft does run out of memory. I'll reinstall all the files including the world for another time, and the game starts up without a hitch. I get back to it is not then that awaits me. Instead it seems like an endless room. I can still see, but it's just a faint glow around the end, and something like a potion of blindness is stopping me from seeing it. The faint globe of light is all room as well. The platform doesn't end in a few blocks though, and the obsidian continues, shattering my hopes of being in the end. The obsidian, so I follow a straight line, I walk, and the sound starts. My footprints first. As I go forward, the faint sound of Enderman begins. and increases. First just a normal grunts, then they sound as if they are agitated. It gets louder as if there is a whole horde chasing me, but they refuse to catch me. I start to see the purple pixels on me. Then it stops. A few seconds and steps later, one comes flying at the screen, and the desk screen goes at full volume. This makes me let go of the keyboard and mouse. Silence. It doesn't start up again until I move the mouse. One more sound. A light runs out of the darkness, just out of sight. I go forward again, clicking my mouse, hoping to hit one of them, or a wall, or anything. The past and the scare. I didn't stop moving though, and neither did they. It continues. Escape, Alt plus F4. Unplugging the computer is out of the question, as I refuse to risk my equipment. I keep going, hoping it ends. After about 3 minutes of the cycle, I did one last time, unable to move. The Enderman on the screen stared straight into my eyes, water trains my character, and after the drown, you are dead. In the background, the Enderman still looks with his stocky. I can't. It's not even flinching as much as an inch. 5 seconds later, the computer powers down without warning, and I'm left in the dark. I send my friend the files for the world. They played the game without any flaws, gone to the end, and even got a few pearls. My computer anymore. Did a complete wipe of the hard drive. Minecraft became more than a game that night. It's a lot more than a simple AI. Definitely more than a glitch. These games and entities that form on our fears, they do that. It's a lot more than just simple coding now. The Endermen, they do hold a grudge. They have a fear, and it is not something to talk. They are aware, and they will make sure you become well aware of them and their presence. And that is the end of Scream of the End. So I did quite like that creepypasta. I mean, I think I still find it so bizarre that there's Minecraft creepypasta, like a new one for me. But yeah, I did really enjoy it. I don't know why it surprised me so much when, like, you know, there's other video game. I mean, like, you got Bennett Jones, which is Zelda that I've covered previously. There's like, you know, Sonic.exe, and there's other like there's a game of Slenderman stuff. So yeah, it was quite a good one. It's quite an interesting take, because when you think Minecraft, I think Enderman, and so it's quite an interesting way of doing it. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like and subscribe. I have noticed that my character, like, that the face keeps like freezing and stopping, cause if you look at my face. So I am sorry about that, guys. I will try and get that fixed before my next video. But the audio should be fine. And I don't know if you got anyway, but anyway, all that being said, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions for any future videos that you'd like me to cover on this channel, let me know in comments over on X, or drop me an email, and I'll have a look, see if it sounds interesting. Then, you know, it might be a future video, and I'll see you all in the next one.